The following are some random examples of where public money might have been better spent. They've generally come to mind while I've been riding my bicycle around the Medway towns.
This is the strangely named HMS Chatham Bridge on St Mary's Island in Chatham. You can see it's an impressive looking structure, but looks can deceive. You will see that there is a fixed walkway across the opening over which the bridge spans. Therefore nothing can pass under the bridge. A bridge under which nothing can pass need not be there. A simple crossing at ground level could have been constructed instead. At current values, this represents about 10 to 15 million pounds of public money wasted.
Oh dear.
This is Old Chatham Road near Maidstone. Here, two comedies have played out. Parking goods vehicles were a nuisance to those living at the bottom of the road. The first solution to this problem was the creation of a cycleway using hundreds of plastic reflector bollards. Both me and an operative engaged in installing the bollards could see the funny side of the enterprise, and we agreed that 2 to 3 years would see its failure. So it came to pass. The current scene is again vast numbers of bollards on top of concrete curbing. All this where there already exists a footpath of similar standard to that which suffices as a cycleway elsewhere, on a road with occasional traffic and rare cyclists. This is especially silly where on its upper section there are in fact no houses. About £150,000 of taxpayers' money has been wasted here.
Oh dear.
These are advanced stop lines or bike boxes. I thought to do a little research. I asked 10 motorists if they could recall ever having a cyclist stop in front of them in one of these boxes. They all said they couldn't. I then asked 10 cyclists whether they had ever used one. They all said they hadn't. Then whether they would ever consider using one. All said no. If no one uses them, their creation was a waste of taxpayers' money. A few £1,000s perhaps in Medway.
Oh dear.
This is Star Lane at Hempstead in Gillingham. When I first visited here many years ago on my bicycle, along the edge of this field were about 30 plastic reflector bollards, all of them pretty well broken, hardly any fulfilling their original function. I thought, what a waste of money. Some years elapsed, and then to my total surprise, there were about 50 brand new bollards along the edge of the field. Now you can see, again after quite a few years, there are none to be seen. Probably about £3,000 wasted.
Oh dear.
Here we are on the bridge where the A229 crosses the A2M in Chatham. You will see that there is a strip which is marked with hatching and therefore not used. There is a similar strip on the other side of the bridge. The bridge could therefore have been built about 5 metres narrower than it actually is. At current values, a reduction in width of this amount would have saved about £2 million of taxpayers' money.
Oh dear.
Ash Tree Lane climbs up from Luton in Chatham to join the A2. Near the top, to aid traffic exiting from a side estate, the road is marked "Keep Clear."
A short way further up the hill is another small estate with this hatched area, also to aid traffic exiting. If a simple keep clear notice suffices just 100 metres away, why not here? Has £1,000 of taxpayers' money been wasted? Oh dear. This is what is known as Blue Boar Creek at Rochester Riverside. In 2007, a design competition was held for a proposed cycle and footbridge across this creek. In a reply to a recent Freedom of Information request of mine, the council said that no bridge will be built, and surprisingly, that there had been no design competition. Contrary to this, there was in fact a design competition. It was won by architects Birds, Portsmouth, Russell. Planning permission was obtained. How much public and private money has this failed process wasted? I have no idea, but surely many thousands. Oh dear. This newly constructed sheep pile bulkhead is at the roundabout on the Strood side of the Medway Tunnel. It cost £500,000. I wonder, could a simple sloping embankment have been created here rather than the bulkhead? After all that is being retained is what might be described as waste ground covered in brambles. I do not have all the facts to be certain, but I am suspicious. Oh dear. Here I'm cycling along Jaeger Lane towards Hartlip. It's too narrow for even a small lorry to negotiate. However, when we come to the bridge over the motorway, you see that it is full width with footpaths. Obviously, it could have been constructed to half this width with no loss of facility. Here, and at the two other similar bridges nearby, £1 to £2 million at current value have been wasted. Oh dear. Here we are back on Rochester Riverside, and this is the same creek as before. This, along with the second one, was specially constructed for a single purpose. It was to increase the area of mud-type intertidal habitat on the River Medway. I guess there already existed about 5,000 hectares of intertidal habitat within the Medway estuary. The sole purpose then for constructing these creeks was to increase this area from 5,000 to 5,001 hectares, which is of course a complete nonsense. At the time of their construction, I inquired as to their cost. The authorities said they could not respond due to business confidentiality. In other words, they were keeping it secret. I suggested that these creeks would be unsightly and unattractive. They denied this. I asked the question then, would it not be a better outlook for the houses fronting these creeks if they looked out onto a small green park with somewhere for children to play, achieved at negligible cost, rather than steel, concrete and mud? Some 4 to 5 millions of pounds of taxpayers' money has been wasted here. A debased social environment has been created, along with an unnecessary maintenance legacy. This is an ecological policy gone totally mad. Oh dear.